Hello, my name is Christine Bullock, and I am the Southeast Regional Manager for the Iowa Governor's STEM Advisory Council. I'm excited to share with you today the endless possibilities that are available to you if you get interested in computer science and art together. So what are we going to discuss today? First, we're going to look at where we see computer science and art in our everyday lives, things that you may not think of, but you interact with every day. Then we're going to talk about how you could be a computer scientist in your own community. And finally, we're going to give it a try. We're going to give you tools for you to get started exploring computer science and coding, especially how it integrates with your creativity. And we're going to do that by creating your own logo with graphics that tell a story about you, a product you might promote if you worked at a company, an event you're going to, or anything that you can think of. So where do we see computer science and art together? We see it on our phones. If you look at this iPhone, the graphics, the smooth curves, they're all aesthetically pleasing, yet integrate computer science in so many ways. We see it here with EarSketch that allows you to create your own music through computer programming. We see it through the apps on our phone. The layouts make it easy to use, but yet they have to be user-friendly through the computer science that's behind the coding. And finally, we see it all the time when we're talking about data. We want to present data in a way that makes it accessible to people, makes them want to engage with it through the colors and how the graphics interact. But we also have the data that's in the picture, and that's from computer science. So where do we see these professions in Iowa? You might be thinking, okay, computer science sounds interesting. Maybe how I could integrate it with art makes it even more appealing. But what do these jobs actually look like? What are they called? Here are some titles of some computer science careers that you might see across the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City corridor area. There's software developers, IT help desk support, web designers, computer hardware engineers, database administrators, and information security analysts. And they work at companies that we see every day, but even companies you might not really think have computer science. There's Leapfrog based in Coralville, Iowa, Collins Aerospace that's across the corridor, Integrated DNA Technologies, Pearson, which does a lot of educational publishing, Unity Point Health, and Geometric Digital Care that works with hospitals to create platforms for their information systems. But what you see across these is these industries really vary. It's from aerospace all the way to lab science that are developing COVID-19 tests, to Pearson that's working on educational products you might use every day. They all need computer scientists, and they all need computer scientists who are creative, engaged, and want to solve problems. So what we're going to do today is look at creating our own logo. I guarantee all of you have been to google.com before to Google various questions that you have or to search for everyday things such as where is the closest Thai restaurant, to how many electoral votes does it take to win a presidential election. Google has become synonymous with everything that we do. But you may also have noticed that Google has different logos at different times of the year. This logo, they might have something related to the Olympics, or they might have one that's related to Election Day or a winter holiday. They have logos throughout the year. What we're going to do is use computer science and programming to create your own logo that could represent you. So first, we're going to go to this website. So on your own device, please type in this web address. And when you get there, you'll notice this dashboard. Here in the middle is going to be a 4-minute video that you and your teacher can decide if you'd like to view, but it's a Google engineer who will talk briefly about her experience at Google. And then on the right, we're going to have instructions that include watching that video, opening the starter project, and returning to this page for more ideas. So what you're going to do is step 2. So step 2 would be, in the links, there's Google Starter Project. Please open that in a new tab. You will want to have this main landing page and the Google Starter Project in 2 different tabs so you can go back and forth. The reason you'll want to go back and forth is because on this main landing page, it has all different kinds of tutorials to help you develop your logo. So let's go to that website. Here I'm on the main landing page. And now I'm going to click on Google Starter Project. When I click the Starter Project, it's going to take me to the Scratch platform. Some of you may have used this Scratch platform before. And what this is going to do is use all of these different commands that we have on the far left to manipulate our logo that can be seen in this box on the top right. We have motion that will get our graphics to move, looks where we can change things like the color, the backdrop, the size, sound effects we can add, events such as when I do this, when I click, when I press a button, when something happens, it'll change what happens to my logo. Controls, these are a lot of things if I want something to happen over and over, or if I want it to be conditional. I only want something to happen if this happens. And then some other things that you likely won't use for this project, but maybe you will if you keep going, such as sensing, operators, variables, and my blocks. So let's first look at what we have here on the right. So we have the classic Google logo. And you'll notice that below that, each letter is separated out, and I can click on each letter separately. These are called sprites. So in your tutorial, you'll see them refer to them as a sprite. If I'm clicked on this G, now the coding that I'm going to do here in this center screen is going to manipulate that G. If I click on the O, now my code is going to apply to that O, and so forth. So let's try something with the G. I want to tell the G to do something or to change when I click my mouse. So that's when I go down to the events, and I'm going to click on when clicked. So right now, when clicked, it's not doing anything because I haven't told the computer what to do when it's clicked. So I might say, well, what do I want to happen? Maybe I want the color to change. So I'm going to go up to when clicked, and I'm going to change color. And the standard says it's going to change color effect by 25. But you'll see there's all different things you could do down here to manipulate that. So to see what happens, I'm just going to click on this when clicked button. And you'll see in that right corner, the G is starting to change colors every time I click it. Maybe we can try and see what this other one does with brightness. If I click it, it's going to make it go dimmer. If I want to reset it, press the stop button above the G to get it to go back to where you started. So that's what I'm going to do for my G. But maybe I don't want it to just change one time. I want it to change over and over. So maybe I'm going to go then to the control, which was these repeats. I want it to repeat forever. So when I click it, it's just going to keep on flashing really fast. Cool. Press stop. Then I can go on to the O. Maybe I want it to do something different. I don't really like what that O even looks like. Maybe I could change the color, but I actually want it to be a different O. Up here, above all these code commands, there's the tab Costume and Sounds. So I can actually go to Costume, and I could pick my O to be a different O. There's lots of different options here. Or I could go to this little Choose Costume, this little cat-looking blue head at the bottom below all these images, and I could search for other things that I might want to go in there. I could change the letter of it. I could make it into a different picture. I'm going to keep it, though, as this cool football player. So I'm going to go back to my code, and I'm going to click more options of, let's see, when it's clicked, I want this football player to bounce up and down like he's really getting ready for a big play. So I'm going to do when clicked, and then I'm going to look at what are some things I could do. I want it to have motion, so it's probably one of these blue motion. I want it to go up and down. So as you might remember from math class, up and down is your Y axis. So I'm going to change my Y by 10. So if I click it, he goes up, but I want him to go back down. So I'm going to do change Y again for him to go down, this time the opposite direction. So that's -10. So when I click it, why isn't he moving? The reason he doesn't move is because my computer is processing this so fast that you can't even see it go up and back down by 10. So that's where I'm going to do another event where I'm going to do a weight, and this is in control. So I'm going to put a weight. I want it to weight between those two. So now you'll see it goes up, it weights, and then it goes back down. Maybe I want it to go higher. So I'm going to change this number to 25 and negative 25. And then he comes back down. But he only does it once. So maybe I'm going to repeat that 10 times. Oh, but he's kind of glitching again. Maybe I need to do another weight at the end. But he's kind of moving slow. So I'm going to make these weights 0.25, even smaller than 1. And now I can see he's bouncing. Now the reason I wanted you to keep open your other tab is because there's going to be all different kinds of tutorials on that main landing page of things you could do, from changing the colors to switching what the costume is. So I could change it from a football player to a letter, make it spin, bounce, lots of different ideas. So now I want you to give it a try and see what you can come up with. So that's where, if you come to your final product, here's mine. You can see when I click it, I have my graphic. I'm going to stop. I'm going to do it again. Hey, M, do you like CS? Of course I love CS. So now it's your turn. Go back to your main landing page. And see what you can come up with.